again, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video in my January 2020 organization series here on YouTube. If you are new and you missed it, I am committing to posting 10 videos this month, either having to do with organization or cleaning or prep. If you've missed either of my first two videos and you need to catch up on those, I'll leave a link to the whole playlist in the description box below. So what I want to work on today is doing an inventory of my freezer and pantry. So the first day of this challenge, I actually posted a pantry organization video, which really helped me kind of figure out what I have in my pantry that I need to use up. I didn't really throw away that much stuff, so I was happy about that. But we also have a refrigerator, which has a freezer, and a regular deep freeze out in the garage. And it's been a while since I really went through and cleaned that out and inventoried it. So that's what I'm planning on doing today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm a full-time working mom and I love posting videos like this about food and family. So if that's something that you're interested in, I hope that you subscribe and stick around. So primarily our deep freezer is used to store meat. We do either buy a half or a quarter of a cow each year. My husband works with a farmer who farms cattle, and it's really nice that we can get that and stock up on it because the meat is so much better quality and so much cheaper than buying it in the regular grocery store. I always cringe when I go to the store and have to buy ground beef. It's just so, I feel like it's so expensive now. It's like $5 a pound, where as we can get it for around $2.50 a pound when all is said and done, and that includes steaks and roasts and everything else. So I'm gonna take you outside and show you kind of what the before looks like. Now there's one of two ways that you can do this. You can go through your freezer and pantry and write down the ingredients you have and when they expire. Personally, that's not how I like to do it. When I do a freezer and pantry inventory, I actually go through and look at the foods that I have and think, what meal can I make with that? And then I make a list of meals based on the ingredients. To me, it just works out better because then I already have a list of things that I can pull from when I'm making my weekly meal plan. Let me show you. So this is the meal planner that I've used for several years now. It's from Carrie L. I will link her site down below, and I always have a coupon code that you guys can use. And she has a couple different sizes. I like the mini meal planner. It's the same size as my Erin Condren planner. She also has larger ones that are like 8.5 by 11. For the most part, you know, I do use this for regular meal planning week to week. However, there is a section in here for freezer and pantry inventory. What I did was in the back here, I just used one of the blank sheets of paper and wrote at the top pantry and freezer meals. So I made a section here for breakfast, a section for lunch, and a section for dinner. And so what I'll do then is when I'm going through my fridge and pantry, if I see something like, for example, if I have cans of beans and tomatoes, I might think, oh, I can make chili with that. Or if I have some chicken, I might think, oh, I can make chicken tacos with that. So on and so forth. You'll see as we go along here. So let's go out to the garage. All right, so we're out here in the garage, and this is the refrigerator that we have out here, which mostly we kind of just store extra drinks in, extra eggs. There's some homemade pickles in there, soda, stuff like that, juice boxes for the kids. But then in this freezer, I do store all of the supplies, or not the supplies, I guess the ingredients that I use to make my homemade stock. So anytime I have vegetables that are about to go south, I freeze them, carrots, onions, celery, things like that. And then we also freeze all of our beef and chicken scraps and bones so that we can make our own chicken stock. But like I do have some cupcakes in here that I froze from Adam's birthday. I think there's a couple freezer meals in here. I do have some homemade marinara sauce, some turkey rice soup. I believe this is a spinach artichoke dip that I prepped. There's some salmon back there, and then over here I just have more stock, some popsicles, some hot dog buns it looks like. And then the deep freeze it looks pretty unorganized, and I guess it is. So what I really need to do is get in here and sort of sort out all of the meat versus the other food. So like, you know, we do keep frozen pizza and chicken nuggets and things like that in here, but then I also have chicken breast and pork chops and steaks. So I have this basket that is actually meant to fit down in the freezer like that. So I think what I'm gonna do is get all my ground beef rolls and put it in there just so I can keep track of how much ground beef I have left. And I'm not going to film this part because this is like a really tight angle back here. I don't know if you can tell, but no way that I do it I'm going to be able to have my tripod set up. So I'm going to get some gloves because all of this stuff is very cold, and I'm going to work on this and I will show you what it looks like when I am done organizing it. So here are just a few things that I pulled out of the deep freeze, and as I was going through these, I basically thought, what can I make with those? And so I started making a list. So I found a bag of shredded hash browns. These are great to make cheesy potatoes with. So, you know, you do the hash browns, I think cream of chicken, sour cream, shredded cheddar. And if you want to make it into a meal, you can actually add ham to it, which is really good. And so that would be an idea for us for dinner one night. Also, if I mention any recipes, I'll try and link them down below in case you guys want to try them out. This was a Southwest Fiesta soup, a keto freezer meal that I made. I can link that video down below, but this is also a crock pot meal that is really great. So basically on the day of, you just take it out. Sometimes I like run some hot water over this just to loosen it. You can even put it in the slow cooker frozen, cook it all day, and it's ready when you get off of work. I also found some smoked chicken that Adam made back last summer, it looks like, but we have a vacuum sealer, and so as long as this stuff is in the deep freeze and it's vacuum sealed, it's not freezer burnt at all. So what I like to do with this is make a smoked chicken chili. So basically just like a chili or a taco soup, and then instead of using ground beef, you use the smoked pulled chicken. So good. Found a couple pizzas, which I knew I had these in here. So one from Giordano's in Chicago, and then just a regular sausage pizza. So we could do that for pizza night one night. Also have some pizza burgers. This is from a ground beef freezer meal video that I did, and we still have a package left of these. So I can link that video down below also, but basically it's a pizza burger, kind of like a sloppy joe mixture, and then you put them on top of these buns with the provolone cheese and melt it in the oven. Really good. I originally got that recipe from Shelby at the Queen's Cabinet here on YouTube. I also have a ham bone left over from Christmas, and so I know I have a package of dried beans in the pantry that I can make ham and beans with, so that would be really good this winter. I found some beef taco meat, so that's good. We could just have some good old beef tacos one night. Pork carnitas, this was also another freezer meal video that I did for a keto recipe. So in this bag, there's basically broth, seasoning, onion, cilantro, and a pork butt. So I could just pop that in the crock pot. I also found some regular smoked turkey. I think what I would probably do with this is maybe cook it up with some turkey gravy, or I think I even have some chicken gravy packets in the pantry, and we could do like hot turkey sandwiches with turkey gravy, mashed potatoes, and bread, or even just do, you know, warm up the turkey in the gravy, have it with mashed potatoes and a veggie on the side. So I think that's what I'll do for that. And then I also have some wheat hamburger buns. So for that, I just wrote down cheeseburgers. So you can see the list here that I have of everything. I mean, just spending, you know, 10 or 15 minutes doing this, and I have what, you know, 10, 20 meal ideas. You know, another thing too is sometimes when I do like these challenges where I clean out my pantry and my freezer, it's hard for me not to feel really wasteful. Like I feel bad that I have all this food and I don't even know that I have it. It's not that I don't know that I have it. I know that it's out there. I feel bad that I don't know exactly what I have. Do you know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think it's really important, especially for myself personally, and maybe you guys as well, to do these on a regular basis. Like I really think that I need to do these quarterly, probably is what I need to do. Because none of this food is bad. It's not like I have to throw it away, but I should be pulling from this first before I go to the grocery store. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a good lesson for all of us. Let me know what you think about that. I also found a bunch of meat and fish and chicken. Just a second. So a lot of this is just sort of like miscellaneous chicken and beef. So these are some just boneless, skinless chicken tenders. I'm actually gonna take these out now and put them in the fridge because I have a recipe that I found on YouTube earlier that I wanna make this week. It's baked garlic Parmesan chicken. And basically you mix together sour cream and cream cheese, garlic, salt, pepper, mozzarella, and Parmesan, and spread it over chicken breast and bake it in the oven. I have all those ingredients on hand, so that'll be great for that. We did stock up on some beef fillets when they were on sale at Hy-Vee, so we still have those. I also have some New York strip steaks. There are some more chicken breasts down there, some pork chops, mahi-mahi, and some ground turkey. Now, ground turkey, I actually have a really good recipe for turkey stroganoff meatballs. And I believe it's an Instant Pot recipe. I'll find that and link it for you guys, but it's really good. My family is not a huge fan of ground turkey, but for some reason, if I make it in those meatballs, they really like it. So I don't know that this is all that impressive, just because chest freezers are so hard to organize. We bought this freezer so many years ago, and probably when it goes kaput, we will get like a standing freezer with a door. I just think they're so much easier to keep track of what you have. Anyway, so I did go ahead and put a bunch of the ground beef rolls that we have up here. These are the rolls that we get from our, when we buy the beef. And so they're in 1 pound rolls, and it's about 96.4 lean ground beef, so it's really good. I put some pork chops up here because I want to use them probably in the next week or so. And then I tried to kind of set everything up on end so I could see what I have and pull it out like vertically rather than having to kind of rifle through everything. There is a freezer dinner down there, or like a TV dinner, I don't know, whatever you call it. And then I just kept my chicken nuggets over here so I can pull those out quickly. And then I do have some sourdough bread in here also that I like to keep in the freezer because we don't go through it that fast. So pretty happy with this. Came up with a lot of different ideas. Now I'm going to work on the refrigerator freezer out here. So these are just a few things from the freezer in the garage, and then a couple from my freezer inside here. So we'll start in the back here. So I do have a package of organic riced cauliflower. So for a side, sometimes I like to do like a creamy riced cauliflower, almost like a rice pilaf, but instead you just use like a little bit of cream cheese and some half and half and some Parmesan cheese. It turns out really good. I also have a bag of tater tots. So the first thing I thought when I saw that was tater tot casserole. I think I have a video on how I make my tater tot casserole. I'll find it and link it down below. I love it. I also have a spinach artichoke dip that I made this around the holiday time, and I went ahead and made a whole batch, but I knew we weren't going to eat it all. So I just took and froze half of it. So I can thaw that out sometime on the weekend, maybe when we're watching football, and we can have that with some chips. I do also have 2 keto lasagnas from the keto freezer meal that I did, and we actually had one of these last week, and so I just froze them in smaller portions because the kids really don't care for lasagna very much. So typically when I make this, Adam and I will just eat it, and they'll eat something different. I also have these 2 pre-cooked chicken dishes. So they had these on clearance at Hy-Vee for $2.99, and I bought them and I didn't get them used up by the date, and so I ended up just putting them in the freezer. This one's a chicken marsala and this one's basil pesto chicken. So I'm thinking I could do some, thaw these out and do some kind of pasta dish with either of those. I also found one of my cauliflower crusts that I had out in the freezer. This, I believe, is Cauliflower Foods. I think they come 2 in a package, so I just removed the box and then put the instructions on there. So that's something that we could have if we wanted like a lower carb option. I also found some turkey marinara, so that can be heated up with some spaghetti or other pasta. I also found cheese tortellini. Actually, you can even put those together, right? So usually we do tortellini with Alfredo sauce, but we could also do it with red sauce. I also have some more of my turkey rice soup that I froze. So that would be good to heat up maybe for a lunch on the weekend or even for dinner some night. I have some frozen broccoli, and what I like to do with this is make broccoli cheese soup in my Instant Pot. It's really good. And then I also have some salmon. So if you guys have a favorite way to cook salmon, let me know. I do cook it quite a bit, but I'm always looking for new recipes. So you can see here that I came up with a pretty extensive list of dinners that we could make. I put some of these things over in the lunch, like mostly the soups and the spinach artichoke dip. I guess I don't know why I put down breakfast, because I don't really think I had really any breakfasty type foods in my freezer or pantry, but we'll see. Okay, so my next task is to do the pantry and see what else I can come up with, but I'm feeling pretty positive about this, and I'm really glad to have all these ideas going forward. Okay, so this is mostly organized now. I went ahead and put all of my veggies and meat trimmings and stuff over here that I use for stock. We don't use this ice maker in the garage, so this is kind of just wasted space. And then I've got my 2 keto lasagnas right there, my spinach artichoke dip. I went ahead and put the salmon in the back. And then I tried to line up my stock here on the door, the ones that would fit. So yeah, I definitely need to use some of these up. So maybe I'll make like beef and noodles or something like that, I'm not sure. And then I also have this roll of bistro butter that I made. It's basically like a compound butter. And so we can use this on like grilled chicken, steaks, fish. So that's something that I forgot that I had a big log of that. So that is it for the freezers. I'm gonna move on to the pantry now. I wanted to show you what I came up with from inventorying my pantry. So you guys probably saw a lot of this stuff when I did my organization video the other day, but I do have a bunch of curry paste. I prefer yellow curry paste, and it's really hard to find around here, so I actually order it on Amazon, and it stays good in your pantry for several years. So I can link that down below if you're interested and you have a hard time finding it like I do. I also have this seasoning packet that I could do a lunch meal prep with. It's seasoning for cilantro lime rice, carne asada steak, and tomato and corn salad. And then I use this onion soup mix for my Park City stew, which is sort of like a beef stew that I make in the crock pot. It's really, really good. I also picked this up when I was down in New Orleans, this jambalaya mix, and we haven't used it yet. And I did forget to mention I do have some shrimp in the freezer also, so that's something that I can make with that. With oats, the first thing I thought of was oatmeal raisin cookies. I haven't made those in a while, or maybe some type of muffin or breakfast cookie. I also have some yellow cornmeal, and this could be for cornbread to go with ham and beans. I bought some grits, so that's something that I can make for breakfast, cheese grits, or like I said, I also have shrimp, so I could do shrimp and grits too. That sounds really, really good. Also found this box of pie crust, which was left over from the holidays. Actually, maybe not the holidays. This was maybe one of the vintage recipe videos that I did. But anyway, the first thing I thought of when I saw this is that I could make a chicken pot pie, or I could even do a turkey pot pie with that leftover turkey that I have in the freezer. I do have some mini lasagna noodles, and there is, I believe it's an Instant Pot recipe for lasagna soup that's really, really good, and it calls for these type of noodles, so I could definitely make that. I have enchilada sauce, so I could make enchiladas. Pizza sauce, I thought maybe I could do some calzones and use this for dipping. I haven't done that in a long time. Barley, I have plenty of roast in the freezer, so I could definitely do like a beef and barley soup. I haven't made that in a long, long time. I have several of these dehydrated hash browns, which we've really been liking for breakfast, but a lot of you have left comments that you've used them in quiche also, and that sounds really good. So that might be something I can throw together for either a meal prep or for dinner. I also found a couple cans of pumpkin. I do have a really good recipe for pumpkin chocolate chip muffins that I've shared before, and so I can link that down below also, but my kids really love them. Okay, bulgur wheat. So I actually had this in a bag and transferred it into a mason jar just because it stays fresh better. And I use this to make tabbouleh, which is a Middle Eastern like grain salad. It has lots of parsley and lemon juice and tomatoes and cucumbers and olive oil in it. It's so, so good. I also have some tuna. So one thing I could do for lunch is a tuna salad prep. You guys heard my story of my nut butters the other night. Sorry, I had to cough. You guys heard my story of my nut butters the other night. So I did do some research on Pinterest, and I found a recipe for almond butter chocolate chip cookies that looks really good. And then I also found a recipe for flourless almond butter muffins. And then I also have some peanut butter. I can do some peanut butter cookies with, or bread. So there's lots of different things I can do with those. So just as long as I figure out which ones expire first and use those up. I also found some jumbo shells. So I made a recipe in a chicken freezer meal video not too long ago. That was a chicken and broccoli Alfredo stuffed shells, and everyone really, really liked those. So I also found some Alfredo sauce mix, so I could pair those together with some chicken and broccoli and do that recipe again. That was a real crowd pleaser. I found a couple packets of hollandaise, so definitely could do eggs benedict for breakfast. I bought this a while ago at Aldi, this buffalo wing seasoning mix, and I haven't used it yet. So that's probably something that I could toss up and make in the air fryer. If I was gonna do wings, I would have to obviously buy the chicken wings, but I have plenty of chicken breasts. So if I wanted to do like boneless, you know, boneless, skinless, what am I trying to say? Buffalo wings, I could do that. I found a marinade packet of carne asada. I do have some sirloin steak in the freezer, so I could use that with that. This onion soup mix, I also said that that goes with the Park City stew. There's also some, a pork chop recipe that I might want to try with that. And then of course my Great Northern beans that I had on hand for the ham and bean soup. So this is really what I ended up with as far as pantry and freezer meals. I ended up with quite a bit. You guys can see that for breakfast I have cheese grits and then shrimp in parentheses because I might do that with those also. Pumpkin muffins, almond butter muffins, oatmeal cookies, peanut butter cookies, quiche with hash browns, eggs benedict. And then for like the lunches, or I don't know, I kind of had to put some stuff over here too because I ran out of room, but I have turkey rice soup, spinach artichoke dip, broccoli cheese soup, cauliflower crust pizza, tuna salad, steak Mexican bowls, beef barley soup, manicotti, tabbouleh, lasagna soup, buffalo wings, calzones, enchiladas, stuffed chicken with broccoli Alfredo shells for dinner, cheesy potatoes with ham, Southwest Fiesta soup, cheeseburgers, pizza burgers, smoked chicken chili, beef tacos, pork carnitas. I feel like an auctioneer. Giordano's pepperoni pizza I have, ham and beans with cornbread, baked garlic parmesan chicken. I'm actually going to cross that off because I'm going to make that tomorrow. That's another thing I do is when I make something off here, I cross it off. I have beef fillets that I could cook, New York strip steaks, pork chops, turkey stroganoff meatballs, mahi-mahi. I'll have to look up some recipes for that. I'm thinking maybe I could do like some kind of a sauteed coconut flavored mahi-mahi. I don't know. Turkey with gravy and mashed potatoes. I have some salmon, chicken marsala, pesto chicken, keto lasagna, tater tot casserole, spaghetti, tortellini jambalaya, chicken curry, chicken pot pie, carne asada, and Park City stew. Oh my God. So many meal ideas. I'm like seriously blown away. Is that not crazy how many meal ideas I came up with just with going through my freezer and pantry? Like I said, I almost feel bad because I have so much food on hand, but that is one thing that there's lots of things that I could do better at. But one thing I could definitely do better at is overbuying when I have things already at home. And so that's one thing that I really wanted to focus on this month, and that just it really helps me do that when I go through and think of meal ideas for things that I already have on hand. So that is gonna be it for today's video. Like I said, if I mention any recipes in this video, I'll do my best to link all of them down below, but if there's one that I forget, please let me know in the comments and I will fix that. But I hope you guys are enjoying this organization series. I'm not sure which project I'm going to tackle next, but make sure you stay tuned for that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Lightning strikes by my window, hits my chest right in the